Let's go. Let's go. Let's start this. We got a lot of updates. SWAT raid, possibly 2 suspects detained. Actually, let me start a little back here.
Still like drizzling out here. Looks like the rain might be starting to stop though.
Amount of cars that have gone through it's just been crazy. It's 30, and it's been a large mixture of police and a lot of FBI, what looked to be like FBI cars. There was a stream of like 22.
Come on in, come on in.
What's the current update happening? Zook says. Well, apparently there's 2 to 3 people detained. We're at the street here, about 2 miles away from where Nancy lived. The address is owned by a guy named Baird Green. Don't know if he's one of the people involved here. The home is clearly owned by him. He could have been renting it out. I don't know who lives there. By an individual named Baird Green. This is about 2 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's, about 2 miles away from Andy and Tommaso's, in between. This is the Catalina foothills. What we've seen is a large police presence go in. Lots of FBI agents partnering. I saw Oro Valley Police. I saw Marana Police, where we just came from. Those police they are here. Pima County Sheriffs. They got the road blocked off, and we're just waiting for more details about exactly what happened here. It's rainy here. It's a lot of people out here just watching, coming out with their cameras, and there's not just media. We're talking about, I see a lot of like spectators, and it's pretty wild. So I just got the camera stationed here. I'm under an umbrella. It's still a little drizzling here.
Not far.
I think tonight's going to be a long night here. But I want to learn more, and they also said they're going to be giving a statement. I don't know if they're going to come out and here and talk, or they're just going to release a statement online. And we're talking about the Pima County Sheriffs.
They're going to give an update.
It's a crazy story altogether. Things happen when you say it's in the backyard.
This is exciting, guys.
Looking for anything that's may have been thrown, dropped over the wall. Females and a female detained.
Hold on. Make sure the sheriff department didn't make a statement already.
It's been back and forth between 2 detained, 3 detained, and 1 male, 1 female.
2 to 3 people possibly detained. That's crazy, right?
I'm not. No, this is not my neighborhood, Dave. I'm just about 2.5 miles, almost right in between Nancy and Annie's house.
We will continue to monitor the scene here, folks, for what's going on.
We're at Orange Grove and community Michael. Totally unfamiliar with this neighborhood, even though it's really close.
Crazy, because the reports were like SWAT was going out related to Nancy Guthrie, and it ended up being true. It all ended up being true. So that's crazy. About 30 cars, literally. Okay, let me just to show you perspective here. We'll go for a walk for a second. I'll just show you. what the scene is like here,
It's over here.
so you guys know
Pretty long.
what the scene is here. We're pretty much got a lot of like journalists out here doing reports all over. A lot of people out here. Look at how many people are out here. So it's quite a few people. It's a big scene. It's crazy or what?
Hopefully, it's the right people detained.
I mean, it's like crazy amount of people out here. It's a circus out here. So it's down the road there.
I mean, it was the same thing that Mary said, where they are the latest update is that the FBI,
Insane, I know.
they're not doing.
This was crazy how we were all the way in one town, flew down here, flying up there looking, kept the stream going.
It's like the entire world, like the entire countries in rear and
You have a YouTube channel?
Catalina.
I do. It's very, very, very small.
What is it?
Kid Stallion,
Kid Stallion.
KIDSTALLYN 266.
This is Annie and Tommaso's. You live right by them, right?
They live right behind me,
They live right behind you.
and so it was kind of a shock to learn that, and it's more of a shock when the FBI called me to come home and walk my property on Tuesday. So, but I wanted to do anything that we could do to help, honestly, because it hits way too close to home. You know, you say things happen in your backyard. It was actually my backyard.
Yeah, your backyard. And you came right out here to see what was going on.
There's a SWAT raid
I had
and
to.
possibly 2 to 3
What's your first name
people
again?
detained.
Dustin. Gotta
Yeah.
remember that. Dustin. All right, so Dustin, neighbor. Thanks, Dustin.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Neighbor of Annie and Tommaso's out here. We even got the neighbors out here. Annie and Tommaso's neighborhood.
No, the sheriff department said they were going to make a statement.
We're
so
gonna see
maybe
what else
we'll get
is
something.
transpiring out here, folks. Wait and see what we get.
There was a SWAT raid. What you mean? You heard something else?
Continue to see what's going on. The scene is live and out here. Try to get more information soon.
One of the police sergeants said that they're going to release a statement. Don't believe there's going to be a news conference, but hopefully they'll come
I'm
out.
going to look on Pima County Sheriff. But they should just, like the guy just said, I heard him. He said they should just come out and just say
I
something.
don't know if they're just going to release it on X or. Melinda, are you close to?
See how they got the cones there? Oh, the
They
cones
have
up and
2
everything.
to 3 people detained.
JLR investigate.
Looking for Nancy
what's
Guthrie,
news?
I would think.
What's going on?
Waiting for something confirmation. Everything.
Can we
there's
take
some-
you over to your car? Real quick?
I'm going to go with this way. I've been following his channel for quite some time.
So,
he's been super important.
whoa.
Yeah, there's so many things I'm coming that are coming
Dave, I
out. It's
really
like
hope they find Nancy
crazy.
as well.
Oh, I just was sent a family member of the possible person.
That's the same age as my mom.
Yep, questioning. Well, all these reporters out here, I don't know.
South Texas, bro.
Whoa.
Oh, my bad, I'm mute. Let me check X, make sure they ain't make no statement. They said they're gonna make a statement on X. So far, it just says there's no press briefing scheduled for tonight regarding the Nancy Guthrie investigation. A written statement is forthcoming. We'll see. Hold on. Let's just check on a few updates. I've seen a few things come out, then I'll come back to JRL. So this was Brian. You know you could trust Brian.
Hey guys, so the latest with the Nancy Guthrie investigation, I'm outside this neighborhood right now that's all been closed off. This is where we know that the SWAT team was, or they still are. There's about 24 sheriff's deputies in there. We were actually inside the perimeter because we got in there right when the SWAT team got here. They've now moved us out. But I'm hearing from sources that a man and a woman were taken out of the house, that this is connected to the Nancy Guthrie investigation, and that around the same time there was a traffic stop close by where another person was detained. Whether all of these people are, being questioned as part of the Nancy Guthrie investigation, or whether just one of them is being questioned, I don't know at this time. But there's a ton of FBI that also arrived here. You had the Pima County SWAT team and a ton of deputies that were here initially in FBI, and then a whole just cavalry of more FBI agents just arrived. It's about 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house, which is interesting, so it's not very far at all. And we're waiting to get more information from the Pima County Sheriff's Office, but that's the latest.
True, but they'll wait until clarity on the situation and sound like it is still unfolding. Family member? No, we don't know who the people is yet. Hopefully they're not dead yet, Kimberly. I don't understand why this story takes precedence with all the others going on. Just because it's so rare, so shocking, and it's like a who did it. We're like, I don't know. Americans love who done it, murder mysteries and things like that.
Joe, I'll go back to you. Okay, as you're watching this, again, this is exclusive video we obtained of what this traffic stop is. We'll try to break it down in real time. What are you seeing right now?
Well, what I did see for a moment,
white
there
van.
looked like a white van, and perhaps that's something that vehicle right there, if that's the vehicle that they have stopped, and that would tie into this because remember there was reports of a white van at the beginning of this. So you want to, maybe that's one of the leads they have to go down. What I wanted to say was you had a perfect guest on, and you have a great guest on right now that can compare this to another great case that was worked, which was the Lacey Peterson case. And as Mr. Garagos knows, and as John knows, that there were people that were saying, oh, well, what about this direction? And the detectives had to go in that direction and and just say that, no, it wasn't this because we ran that lead down as well. And that's what has to be done in a case like this. You just can't take for granted that these leads aren't tied in. But even if they aren't, it was reported. There was some credibility to get the warrant. You have to say why something did or did not fit into the criteria.
So, Mark, here's my concern, okay? The lawyer in me, here's my concern.
Oh, the van?
They're talking about collecting evidence. We may be seeing progress here. But you had a crime scene that was closed and then opened and then closed. And our very own reporter was there and was able to see the blood stains, walk right by it. You have an issue of gloves that were found seemingly baking in the heat for quite some time before they were recovered. DNA that was apparently found in the house. When I mentioned with Brian earlier, I mean, I thought the initial reports were they found no forensic material in the house, and there was no DNA in the house tying back to a suspect. So even if they were to make an arrest,
They had like a weird noise. Can't watch that.
Sheriff, first of all, are you being unfairly portrayed as being not working with the FBI or cooperating at all?
Talks. Hold on. The egotistical sheriff. The white van is a coroner. That'd be crazy. They took out the coroner van.
I'll say this. For someone to say that we're not working with the FBI or that the sheriff is stopping evidence from going up, that's just crazy. That's ludicrous. Why would I not use the FBI and their free services? What's frustrating to me is, as you know, at our press conference, I said, you know, we're done with press conferences. We got a lot of work to do, and so when something significant comes up, we'll be there. So I've been a little silent, and I get it. People are asking more and wanting to know, and I want them to know. But there's a process here that we have to safeguard in this investigation, and you're not going to know everything. But so I kind of ignore the white noise, right? But when you say things that are going to be divisive to our agencies, and I say agencies, I need to step in, because that's not only critical to this case, it's critical to what we do for our community. The relationship between the Sheriff's Department and the FBI is valued, not just by the FBI, not just by the Sheriff's Department, but by this community. We do great work together. We've worked together for decades. We have, I mean, I can go back probably 20, 30 years when I was in homicide. We have people assigned to that office, have had for decades, and they have people assigned here. And we have always worked close. Look at Gabby Giffords was a perfect example. Yeah. So for somebody to come out and say the sheriff is stopping, first of all, they just don't know. That's one. Two, it's just crazy. If I may, I'll give you the background on that statement. So it was about some DNA on a glove that Quantico wanted or the FBI wanted, and we said, no, it's coming here. That is so far from the truth of what happened. This case started on Sunday afternoon for us. Yep. By Sunday night, into the early hours Monday, my team had collected all the biological and all the physical evidence at that scene to suggest that, oh, they left stuff there, they did a bad job. That's just ludicrous, and that's an insult to my team. We've processed crime scenes for decades. We understand the rules of evidence and how to protect a crime scene. We left the crime scene because we had everything we saw as evidentiary value. We had county attorneys come out and do those things. The FBI joined us when? Not days later. That's been.
Didn't the first press conference he say, like, he admit that they dropped the ball on that and that, you know, they're Monday morning quarterbacking and that they should have held it? Like, he admitted to it. Now he's saying, like, oh, no, we ain't released it too early. We had everything we needed.
Reported that day. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock that morning, I was in this office, and my detectives said, tell me what we got. We have all this biological evidence, and we have all this physical evidence. Okay, the physical hard cameras, the cell phones, computers, the FBI does a great job. How do they know that? Because they work with them. They have the resource. Give it to them. We called the FBI, absolutely sure. They took it. We took the biological evidence because we have a lab. We've worked with this lab for decades. And it's a lab that, oh, they're in Florida. I don't know where they were 30, 40 years ago when we hired them, when we contracted with them, because like every lab, they put in a bid for a contract. It's renewed after 2 or 3, 4, whatever the time frame is, and they get that bid. They've been a great lab. The FBI, if the FBI said, Sheriff, we don't like your lab because of this, we would have had a different conversation.
Sure.
But it wasn't about that. The FBI is a great lab too. We've used them before. It was simply, we had already sent that evidence in for the markers for the family. We knew, you know, if you have a burglary in your home, God forbid, but we're going to get markers from you and your family. So we have eliminations. And so now we go to a crime scene, or what we believe is a potential scene, on a search warrant up on the, in Rio Rico. Same thing. We gather all that evidence, it goes to our lab. Now we fast forward to what? Yesterday, day before, a glove is found. There's another thing. There's been no glove ever found at that house or in that property. That glove was found 2 miles away. Somebody called the...
Oh, okay. So I thought there was a rumor it was 3 gloves. One was in the house. They reporting. See, I knew. I was like, what? It took them over a week to find a glove in the house? This guy looked like the type of guy who raises his voice in a country club because he wanted his drinks on the rocks and tosses the drink in someone else's face. Just say, that was funny. Sounds like the initial search of the house was sloppy. Surely a Today's show host would never push propaganda. The defense team will have a field day with evidence being questionable. Yeah. But if they like find them with Nancy, it don't matter. They don't need no like a jury going to fry them. What happened with the 2 detained? I don't know. They said 2 to 3 detained. The sheriff supposed to give out more too.
It is a tip. We would be crazy not to say, oh yeah, go ahead, we don't need it. No, we're going to go out and get it. In fact, since then, we've been widening our search patterns, which is pretty typical in these cases. And in that search, we've gone out almost, 5-10 miles, and we found lots of gloves. But we prioritize that. I don't want people to sit there and say, oh, there's a glove, they got too many. No, call us. Right. Let us do. Yeah. So that glove was found. The FBI said, well, we can send it to Quantico. I said, well, we could, but here's the thing. All of our DNA evidence is already at our lab. They've come back with reports. Those reports have been shared with you. In fact, your reports from your lab on the video, it was shared with us. All of that went out. Why would you add a second lab to this? Because now that lab, if they get a marker, say they get a profile, what are they going to do? Call our lab to send stuff over? You've added a step there that's not needed. Right. As long as I took to explain this to you, the FBI and I had this conversation in about 10 seconds. They went, got it, perfect, Sheriff. That's all it was. So somebody out there...
they're trying to make the sheriff look bad. And goes to LA Fitness Saturday.
You know, you don't... The politics, want to talk about elections and all that, those old people come out of the woodwork. That's white noise. I don't pay attention to that. Elections are good. There'll be another one someday down the road too. That has nothing to do with this. This is about staying focused on finding Nancy. 400 cops are out there right now doing work, hard work. And it's not just today, it is 24/7. Talk about my overtime going through the roof, right? It doesn't matter.